What's up, everybody? You gotta let me know if the audio is okay. Oh. I'm just gonna give it a second to let everybody into the room here. But today we're gonna be going over Uchimata. We're gonna be doing some demos. Tonight's session's not gonna be too long. It's late and I got some remodeling to do here in the gym. But I got my coffee. Sounds good? Great. Because Ryan doesn't know it yet, but we were filming last weekend after the YouTube live session and all the audio was ruined and we have to reshoot the whole thing. Yeah. All of it. All of it. So I'm glad it's fixed. That's great. But yeah, like always, we're gonna be going over some Uchimata. If you guys got any questions, gonna open up the shoulders a little bit, do a little bit of throwing. So if you guys got any questions or you wanna see anything, make sure you throw it in the comments below. We're not gonna be going over the time limit today. We're gonna keep it, boom, short and sweet. Short and sweet. What's up, Big Whoa Whoa? Big Whoa Whoa. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while in the chat. Glad to have you back. Yeah, that means he's got to reshoot. I think it's like 30 techniques we did last weekend on video. It's not going to be fun. Not going to be fun. Rob, I'm still working on your breakdown videos. Been kind of backed up with work and obviously audio problems and everything else. But like always, we're going to give it a couple of minutes, let everybody into the room. But gotta repeat myself just because some people weren't here. If you want to see anything, throw it in there right now. That way we get a checklist going of what everybody wants to see or know about or how things get done. They can be everything from one-handed Uchimata, cross grip Uchimata, opposite side, same side, different openings, different setups, positioning, when you throw it, when you shouldn't, even if you have the right grip, all those types of things we can cover today. So yeah, this should be a nice, short, quick session. And on this note, for all of you guys, which Uchimata is best against 100 kilo strong players? It depends on your physicality. Obviously, you have to be strong enough to like withstand it. But normally, when you're dealing with opponents who are bigger and stronger than you, the idea is you got to get them moving. You got to get them moving. That way they can chase you down. And it's hard for them to use their strength if they're always having to move their feet. The Japanese are really good at that. They keep the Europeans moving, who are usually stronger players. And then the technique works flawlessly because they get the timing and the motion and the pattern down so that they can catch them. But for me, if I'm dealing with a stronger player, like when I would be in Europe at the training camps and the 90 kilo guys would grab me and the 100 kilo guys would grab me, I was big on the can-can Uchimata. Let me see, right? Don't fall down, whatever you do, don't fall down. So right here, yeah. So for me, because getting close and trying to lift them without getting picked up was always super difficult. So what I would do is I would swing my leg wide, okay? Because I can't get close to them. So when I go wide, I could pick their leg up and I could start to hop my leg in close. And then you'd have to play with the hands a little bit to try to get that chest contact. Okay, so when I'm in this position, don't fall down. Boom, there. And now that I have him up in the air, keep your leg up in the air. My foot here hops directly to his other foot, okay? So when I'm in this position and I'm up, I wanna try to hop on top of that far foot. Directly in, so the inside of my foot here matches the inside of his foot. So when I have his leg in the air, the idea is to get nice and close to it so that my hips get close, and as I get closer, he'll start to bounce up and up and up, and then I can eventually throw him. So when you're in this position, let's turn this way. Swing wide, boom, get his leg up in the air. Now right here, that's when I can hop, 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 and I can get close, and as I get close, that's where the lift happens in the finish. So again, we're here, boom, we swing wide, we get it up into the air. Now together, 1, 2, 3. And then you can hit that throw by opening them up with your hip here. So that's traditionally how I would do it against bigger, stronger, taller players, right? I know the can-can doesn't usually work against taller players, but it's a great offensive technique to get them moving. Come back out Uchi, get them stumbling, maybe drop underneath them and throw them that way. Because that can be a great setup for all your other types of techniques, right? I can lift his leg. I can try to lift it really high, harai, right? You can lift his leg, boom, come across Osoto. All those types of things are possible off that can against stronger players. Ooh. Hey, Blinken, that's a great question. Great question. Okay. Now, the elbow up Uchimata is new to like new age judo. Back in the day, that was like a big, nuh-uh, you don't do that. That's bad news bears. You get thrown on your head. But because the leg grab is now gone, you're allowed to bring that elbow up a little bit. It's not as strong of a throw, but you can do it for extra leverage, okay? It's not the end of the world. What used to happen, right? Turn Uchimata, keep your elbow down. When his elbow is down, I can't go get his leg. But if he lifts his elbow up, now my shoulder dips, I can pick him up and I can smash him on his head. So back in the day, that elbow had to be down at all times, okay? Now you see people, Tippertiliani made it super famous. He did it all the time. He was like, you know what? I'm getting my whole back to your chest and then I'm throwing you, okay? So it gives you that little bit of extra flexibility in your shoulders. But still, you're better off working the mobility in your shoulder, right? Opening up your chest here. Let me see if I can still do it. It's been a while. Opening up your chest here so that you can make that rotation and then throwing Inoue style rather than turning that elbow over so that you can make that same rotation, right? But it is used a lot. You can still do it, and that's really the main difference. Younger athletes are starting to turn that elbow over because it's a little bit faster, it's a little bit easier, and they don't have to defend the legs. Once the IJF allows those leg grabs to come back, you're going to see that high elbow go away. You're going to see all the athletes bringing it back here, right? You're going to see them starting to bring it back down so that they can't grab the leg, or they're going to be coming overhook and feeding that hand in. So when Ryan tries to grab my leg, I can pick him up and he can't do it, right? So it's a catch-22. Lord, man, every week, live sessions right here on my channel. We normally do them on Saturdays, but Ryan's taking the weekend off. Slacker. Slacker. I'm a fan of the Ashy Uchimata. Let's just be on the same page here and make sure we're talking about the same one. Ashy is when you step to the outside and then you swing and you throw them here and you spin them, right? I just want to make sure we're thinking of the same technique, right? Because as we like nickel and dime the techniques where it's like, hey, it's Uchimata, but there's 10 different versions, it gets a little confusing, especially with language barriers. Some people in some countries call some things one thing, some people call them another. But yeah, I'm a fan of it. What are some good stretches for Uchimata? Are you trying to get out of Uchimata or throw people with Uchimata? One of the ones I just had one of our athletes doing for Uchimata was this. Just go ahead and stick your arm straight out. Other one. Yeah, just stick it straight out. There we go. All right. He's going to stick his arm at shoulder height because what happens to a lot of specifically Americans and beginner level players is they don't lift from the knee to the leg. Okay, they try to move the knee, and what happens is they backstep and they go like this, and they end up shallow where they're not really moving. What you want to do is you want to lift that leg, keep your chest up, lift that leg as high as you can, but think about moving this leg, that way your head lowers, and then you can make contact. If you watch Hashimoto, I think, did it on a wall where he was moving along the wall and you see him almost get vertical. And that's how he did it. We can all do this, put your arm up. We can all do this. And this is what I see from a lot of like intermediate people where the head is down, but the leg isn't up. And we're in like an upside down U. You gotta move that leg. So have somebody stick this up, stick it out, and just practice. 1, 2, and make contact. Reach for the floor. And work on flinging that leg for some power into your Uchimata. That hurt your arm? A little bit? I got fat legs now. I'm not an athlete. A lot of weight moving. But that would be one that I would practice. Again, swinging that leg up. Another good one, turn around. Another good one that you can think about is stand next to a wall, right? We're gonna pretend Ryan's a wall, okay? And you gotta turn the glute on when you do Uchimata. You gotta turn that glute on here where you, boom, hit him with some power. So what you do is you put your hands behind your back, right? Let's turn around, because I'm a righty. There we go. You put your hands behind your back, and the idea is I'm gonna sweep my leg as high as I can without touching him, okay? I don't wanna bang my head before I've ever gotten any lift. So I wanna lift as high as I can here. And then I'm gonna keep that going when I move out of the way of Ryan. First, together. That way I can focus on that elevation for the throw. Biggest mistakes to avoid that might prevent you from finishing a standard Uchimata. Mistake number 1, foot not in the center, okay? When I split Ryan, nope, split that line right down the center. That way they got a visual. My foot has to be in the center. That way I can sweep and I can throw. What happens to a lot of people is when you're here, go ahead and go over. Yeah, there you go, nope, lefty. There we go. When you're in this position, right, is they do this. They put this foot in the center and then they back step wide, and what happens is this. And it's like you're throwing at like a funny angle where you didn't actually turn. And you see that, we see it even with the national players for the States right now, because they don't make the turn for the Uchi komi. They go like this, they go. And it's like, it's so half-assed, right? Like the hand's not pulling, I'm just like arbitrarily like doing this because my coach told me I had to, and I don't really want to be here right now is what it looks like. And they're like, like this is the big reason, because you're not focusing anything, right? You've got to have dedicated focus. Up, back step, rotate, look to the forward direction. That way you can swing and you can elevate him and then throw him, right? You want your Uchi komi to be precise, precision. That's what does it. No, I don't like Uchimata for BJJ players unless you're already in half guard and they're getting up from bottom to sweep you with an underhook. Then you can use your overhook to throw them down and defend the roll through. Other than that, not really a fan. My favorite Uchimata is the one-handed version. I can't read that name. I'm just going to call you Alex. One-handed. Elbow under armpit versus elbow out. I personally do not do Uchimata from here unless it's lefty-righty, okay? I'll never throw Uchimata, righty. Even if I have this sleeve and his hand's not on the gi, I'll never throw Uchimata from the collar. That's not my thing. Not gonna do it. I'm gonna smash your back, I'm gonna bend you over, I'm gonna power grip you, and then I'm gonna throw you. From a lefty standpoint, left on right, I like to be over the top because I'm a big, strong guy. That way, go ahead and defend. Yeah, there we go. That way I can smash that arm down, power grip, suck you in, and now I can bring my hips, right? So that's where I prefer to be. No, Chris, I didn't get my concussion from the one-handed one. I've actually never gotten a concussion doing the one-handed one. I got the concussion doing the cross grip Uchimata against Alan Schmidt from France. I think Alan bronzed at the Worlds, maybe? I can't remember. My favorite throw combo is Osotogari to Uchimata, okay? But it's done in a two-part process, 2 parts. Part number 1, right on right, you steal the neck, you pull his head in. Part number 1, you come in Osoto and you come out, okay? So resist, don't get thrown. No, I get that grip, I always win, okay? So he's in here, he's not gonna get thrown. Okay, great. That way, now when I lift, he'll move that leg the second time. So the first time, you hook and you drive, and then you come out. And then the second time, you show it, and without putting this foot down, you take 1 step, and then you throw. That's my favorite. Not saying it's the one I do the most, and I'm the most successful with, but it's my favorite. It's the one that like I'm gonna try to set up all the time in randori sessions. Allison, Wololo, yes. I don't take down the live sessions. I leave them on my channel indefinitely. I don't take the time to go back and tag them or do anything. So if you want to take notes and timestamp them yourself, it's already free stuff. I don't have time to do all the rest of that stuff. Gabriel, that's a great question. Why do you teach Uchimata with a shallow step first when IJF competition is almost always done with super deep entry step and shallow second step? And that's to ensure that the athlete has a pull. Because what I don't want to have happen is this, right? When I practice, right, if I'm warming up, like I go to Japan, I'm at Toka and I'm warming up for a randori session, this is what my Uchi komi would look like. Turn a little bit, yeah. This is what it would look like. And I would feed, like you're talking about, I would feed my foot in deep, and then I would bring my other foot in so that I could throw. So I understand what you're talking about, because as a competitor, that's what I would do. But what I want to make sure everybody does from a fundamental, foundational standpoint, you don't want to do this and not have anything with your arms. So you want to go shallow, pull him, fill the space so that you can rotate, and then elevate and throw, okay? It just helps. It helps people to feel like they're pulling rather than getting in close, because if I crowd your space too much, right? If me and Ryan are just, go ahead and stand there. If I crowd, this happens to most people. And it's okay for advanced people to take a big step in and then a shallow step, lean, lift and throw. That's okay. But from your white belt to your purple belt, blue belt, novice, your first year brown belts, it's a little tricky. It requires a lot of, muscles that you wouldn't necessarily have. So that's why. No, Ken is not necessarily better. Left versus right. A lot of people, but when you want to do the Ken, right on right or left on left, same-sided people, you have to be fast. I'm not fast. As you can see, I'm a little heavy set and I'm like a tank, right? I don't move that fast. So forgive me for screwing this up, but I understand how it works. So extreme. There, so let's say you come out, you steal the sleeve. What you see a lot of people doing is relax. I'm not very fast, this is gonna be weird. What you'll see a lot of people doing is stepping across, and as they do that, they're gonna hit their back step before the right hand goes on the gi, right? 1, and then they pull. But when they pull to themselves. They don't pull out, they pull to themselves. So that when I back step, I can get that leg in the air, and now I can hop, and I can cut that corner and I can finish it. It's a very, very far distance to go. Nagase is very good at it. Takashi Ono, the former 81 kilo from like the 2008 era, also used to do it. Some of the other ones do it as well. I'm too slow. I tried to get good at it and I just admitted that I'm way too slow. Nice, Chris, your mat's arrived. Love it. Love it. Is that your phone going off or my phone? Oh, somebody's phone's going off. Sorry. Yes, Fernando, that's a great one. The switch, right? You snap forward, boom. Go behind. Go behind. I love it. I love it. Connor, you're going to have to explain the Uchimata. I'm not really sure I know what that is. Do you hook Uchi and then do Uchimata? I know Coach Uchimata is here and you throw them. I used to do that all the time in competition. I personally prefer Ken over the Ashy Uchimata any day of the week. Any day of the week. That would be my go-to because it's not an end-all be-all, right? I see some people try that Ashy Uchimata and then they hit that leg and they get stuck and they're in a weird spot. And when they come out, they're primed to be swept. And you don't want to stay there against a bigger guy because they'll step in and pick you up. It's not a good place to be unless you actually have the ability to clear that leg out. So that's not really my go-to thing, right? But when you guys are talking about combinations to get into this, right? Because I had mentioned, I had mentioned Osoto before, but one of the ones that works really well, opposite-sided, right? Let's assume that you got that inside grip. He's applying pressure. Go ahead and push me away. Keep me away. There. And you're here and you can't get that hand and you can't do anything. One of the things that you can do, right, is you can bring this foot in a little, block and lean back. Block. So I'm taking the arch of my foot and I'm just blocking that shin with it. As I do that, I pull him so that I can get to that arm. I go right to the shoulder. Okay, I slide down the arm and I move across his body. Now, he's standing righty, so when he switches back to left, I can use that to enter in. That's a combination I would use all the time. All the time. Can you beat Shohei Ono? I am a fat tub of lard. I'm lucky if I could do judo for 5 minutes. I'm good. I'm solid for like 2 though. 2 minutes, I'm pretty good. 2 minutes. Going for the inside versus the outside leg. You still lost me, Connor. You still lost me. Are you considering it? I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying. Are you considering this O Uchimata and this Ko Uchimata? I'm not really sure. I don't know where you're going with that. Which throw would you do when you do the entry to the Uchimata and the opponent backs out his leg? Would you use Tanya Toe, Shirai, or something else? You lost me again, Alex. By the backed out his leg. If I come in Uchimata, what do you mean by back out his leg? Like he steps backwards and he gets his leg out and I miss and I'm like this? Or like I'm hopping and he takes his leg out? Those are all very, very... Any advantages to staying on both feet as opposed to rolling on uke after you throw? Russian tie to Uchimata? No. I mean, I'm a Newaza person, so I like it. Left on right. I like when he reaches. I can shield. I can break this down. I can pop that leg out. I can put him on the floor, and then I can transition. It's also great to set up your sumi or ko-uchi, but for Uchimata, unless you just want to transition to newaza, it's not really a throw that you want to be doing, right? If you're into dying seconds, it's not my go-to. I wouldn't want to be there. Can't be there for that. That's not good. So, Uchimata, something that you guys can kind of practice on. Just a different thought, and you can do this with just about any throw. But specifically the throws the hips, all that kind of stuff. One of the things you can do is when you're standing and you want to practice your uchi komis, okay? You want to start out basic uchi komis. 1, 2, turn in the corner, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start lifting, right? 1, 2, boom, slight pickup, getting into a rhythm. And then what you can do is you can have your partner, you're going to keep the same tempo, and have your partner keep his feet on the ground and just give you a little hip check so that you can't lift. Boom, other hip, Ryan. Brown belt, there you go. A little bit more. Yeah, there you go. And what you're going to do is when you get hit, you can hold it for a second, and it's going to fire those judo muscles that you need turned on for randori. That way, when you come in, boom, you're going to strengthen, and you're going to get used to feeling the resistance, okay? Get used to feeling the resistance. Boom. And standing your ground. And now just let me come in. There. And then it becomes smooth and effortless, right? That's something you guys can do right now. All you need is somebody that can stand on 2 feet and turn the hip into you slightly. Sink their weight slightly as you're coming in. Chris, I disregard Hane goshi as a throw. It's a mistake, in my opinion. It's a mistake. Like, yeah, just don't even talk about it. Gone. Completely out of here. Don't like it. Anybody that says they're a Hane goshi player is full of crap. Hane goshi is a mistake. It's too narrow of a throw between Uchimata and Harai goshi. There's too much of a fine line there. Like I've done on my YouTube channel Uchimata, and people are like, that's Hane goshi. And I'm like, my pants are a little thick. I'm not sure you could really see it, but my leg went in the center, I promise. Connor, the lifting the inner thigh with the, oh, you're just trying to set me off, Chris. I see how it is. You're just trying to set me off. You're trying to get me on another rant so I go past my time limit. I'm not playing your game. Not playing your game. Connor, what you're asking about is lifting this thigh. And the problem is he's not in the air. My plant leg, when I explode up and I lift, that will lift this leg. My job is to roll him over my leg quickly, okay? So I'm not really a fan of that inner thigh. I always feel like when I see people do that in competition, they fall short. No, big whoa, the pulls are different. They're different, it's a different style pull. What's the deal with the Uchimata DVD? It should be out in like a week or two. Should be out in like a week or two, Chris. I sent it in, sent it to Judo Fanatics. Go there, join the email list so that you can get hit with the notification when they release it. I don't understand what you mean by backwards Uchimata. How do you do Uchimata backwards? Like, I'm a righty and I do it like a lefty? Yes, Sakana, I love it. I love Uchimata off the Georgian grip. Is it better to do Uchimata or Harai to Harai or Uchimata to Taio? Well, it would be better to do Taio to Uchimata and Harai to Uchimata rather than the inverse, right? Because if I do Harai and he steps over my leg and gets out, now, nope, turn the corner, there we go, boom. Now I'm in the center to go. Same thing, if I do Taio and he steps over, now I can make my step and I can do Uchimata. So they work better as the inverse of those two. To do Uchimata, pick him up and have him come around to turn and then get my leg to the outside just seems a little weird. I would come in Uchimata, he hops, and I would keep it in there, and then I would can it out and then maybe turn out Uchi. Yeah, I'm not really sure how the Kodokan defined that. I've never in my life, until the world where they put out like the Christmas tree mats, until that happened, I've never in my life, stand there, like get nice and strong, there we go. I've never considered this Uchimata. I've always considered that a pickup. So is that what you mean by the backwards one? But I like it if you got the strength to pull it off. Xantarai is like a head taller than people, so that when he gets in there and he stands up, they don't really have anywhere to put their feet. If you're short and stocky, maybe not your best bet. I know Toth from Hungary was short from 90 kilos and he was phenomenal at it. But he had a good back arch and he could get people up and he could turn the corner with his back arch. My back don't bend like that. And Uchimata is considered a head dive. Think about the bald spot on the back of your head when that touches the floor. Okay, so I can touch the front of my head, the top of my head. I can't touch the back of my head. And they consider the back of the head, anything behind the ear line is considered the back of the head. And they consider the face anything in front. What is the reason Uchimata is the highest scoring technique looking at IJF stats? It's because of the classification of the throw and what is considered an Uchimata. That's why it's there. It's not because in the traditional sense, like for example, we'll just throw this out here, right? If I'm throwing Ryan, right? I'll do one throw, like one big, like brr throw, okay? And then you tell me if it's Uchimata or not. Go ahead and stand here. Here we go. Okay, let me stretch a little bit here. Oh. Okay, let me see here. All right, ready? Uchimata or not? I swung my leg, didn't I? It's one of my seiyonagis, what I consider a seiyonagi. But when you swing the leg up the center like that, right, because I backstepped and I swung. So what are we doing? And I think that's why that throw is considered the highest scoring, just because of how it gets classified. Like I never in a million years would have classified this as Uchimata. But it was done. So that means all the Eastern European bloc countries, all the Europeans that pick people up belly to belly, those are all getting thrown in with the Japanese traditional collar sleeve Uchimata. Same thing with the Georgian grip. It's like, it's got so many, as long as my leg is to the inside here and I'm hooked, it's considered Uchimata. So it has a variety of different classifications that are considered just the base of Uchimata, and that's why that throw wins. Yeah, but see, like when you look at the stats, there's no such thing as fusion techniques. They always back it down to that core base, and I don't know which category it falls into. And some of the ones that I think they've classified as Uchimata, I don't necessarily agree with, but I also don't care. Like it is what it is. As long as you threw the person for Ippon, who cares? Daniel, neither. I would counter Uchimata with Uchimata, okay? I've got unnaturally flexible hips because I stretched a lot in my younger days, and I still have some of that flexibility here. I can still do it. And it was probably one of my better throws, so this is gonna be weird because it only happens left on right. Here, go ahead and come in Uchimata. Lefty. Just lift my leg, yeah, just lift my leg. We'll go nice and slow, okay. Nope, stand up, just hold me nice and tight, there, okay. So let's assume that he's got my leg in the air and he's hopping. What I would do is I would hook. I would come into the front and I would pressure him, so try to lift me. boom. And I would kind of stay heavy and I would pressure. And then what I would do is I would release and I could step over myself, okay? And I would throw a lot of people by grabbing that big toe and trying to step over their throw. It was one of the things I could do left on right. And if you noticed in my Olympic final, I actually put myself here against the Russian because I thought I was going to throw him with it, and then I fell on my knee and then he threw me and life sucked after that. But hey, you win some, you lose some. Any tips for taller player in bigger height different matchups? How big are you talking? I mean, I'm always a fan of bend them, get down the back, stick the leg in the center, bring one leg in, lean a little, pick them up, and throw them for taller guys. Yeah, Chris, I'm in the same boat. Like fusion, not fusion. Like I don't know. Somebody's good at Seo. Somebody's kind of good at Uchimata. Like, can you put the two together? Why not? Yeah, Daniel, that would be my go-to. Anyways, control the sleeve, defend, back, break them down, regain. Right. So you never want to go from here all the way to the belt. You would want to reach. You'd want to defend, back, pull him in, right? I'm not all the way there. Then get to the back, and usually to here, not quite the belt. Sometimes I'll go for the belt, but a lot of times I'll go here, and then I'll make the adjustment to the belt and then go. It really depends on the pace and tempo of the randori session or the match. Allison, the best one for the slow tank guys. Slow tank guys. Right here. Overhook, overhook, cross the gi. Best one ever. Because you don't really need that much, right? Once I lift his leg, it doesn't even matter that he puts his hand on the floor. I don't even need his sleeve hand. I can just put this hand on the floor, and now I got him. Hop, hop, pop. Roll him right over. Easy as pie. Easy as pie. And there's a lot of different ways to get into that. Right? You can, when he's got that collar, a lot of times I'll go double collar, I'll pull his head in, I'll grab his back, and then he'll just make that switch. And because I had this collar from the start, it's an easy feed. Now I can stab that leg in, put my hand down, put my foot in, hop, 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 roll him straight over, and he's done. Super easy, super easy. Super, super easy. Oh, that's not that big of a difference, 194 to 170. That's a competitive range. But guys, we're touching that 45-minute mark. We got about 5 minutes left. So if you have any questions, make sure you throw them in. Hey, super chat. Thank you. Love it, Sinclair. I would love a cup of coffee. What's a sign that Uchimata is not an option? The number one thing that I think most people should pay attention to is the back leg, or for left on right. Just put your hands up. There we go. If I'm in this position, let's say I want to do Uchimata, and every time I take a step here, he brings his legs together. Yep. Okay, so if I'm fighting with him, and I go like this, and he starts to move that leg, even if the knee twitches inside, right? Like that. Nope, knee twitches inside, right? Knee twitches. Nope, move your foot. Move your foot. There you go. If he starts moving that foot, even righty, go righty. Even as a righty, if I'm here and I feel like I'm gonna step and go, and he's moving that leg, nope, inside, inside. There you go. And he's moving that leg, that tells me don't go. Don't go. The other one that you have to pay attention to is foot here. Because if Ryan's a righty, right, and then he comes in through Uchimata, he wants to come into the center, right? So if he comes back out and he comes in, and I put my foot here as he comes in, when he sweeps, I can pass that foot to the outside, and then I can counter him. Don't do Uchimata and BJJ. That's what. I would never pick up somebody trying to throw me with Uchimata. I would back in the day with leg grabs though. But since that's not allowed anymore, I just wouldn't do it. I would go back to the reverse Uchimata that I did earlier. My preferred position is back. So I want him bent, I want control of the head, and I want his back. I don't care if my hand is here or I have his sleeve, doesn't matter to me. I just want to be here. And I don't care if he's around my back like this or if he kept that hand to the inside and I'm here. I'll go right from here. This doesn't bother me one bit. If I have your back and my second hand on the gi, I'll bring my hips every time. Don't even care if I get thrown free palm. That's me personally though. Favorite foot sweep to Uchimata would have to be a kochi for me, because it's the one that opens up the righties. So when you're here, I would just penetrate and move this foot so that I could enter and come in one fluid motion. And if you kick them hard enough, when you put your foot at the top of the triangle, they'll just move it for you and you can just focus on the straight shot Uchimata. Oliver, I did say don't do Uchimata for BJJ takedowns. But I preface that with saying, if they're getting up off the floor, then you can. Right? Like if he's in a full body lock, like I would never be here in jiu-jitsu and then trying to do Uchimata. And I would never be here trying to do Uchimata or here. But if he's got both his arms, lock your hands. If he's here, right, and he's trying to get behind me to souffle me, like, yeah, I'd probably hook and I'd probably try to bring him to the floor. But that's not really you doing Uchimata, that you try not to get smashed on your head. There's a difference. Is target for your stab step behind Uke's feet? Yeah. So, turn this way. My stabbing step is always inside and I glide it down his leg behind his heel. That way, it clears a path for me to come across and enter. And when I make my step to the top of the triangle, my foot transitions to the inner thigh on the other side as I turn my hips. That's the path for that. Guys, that's all we have time for today. Thank you everybody for stopping by. If you guys want to see more Uchimata or any other specific techniques, make sure you go to the community section on my page or leave a comment in the sections. I'm trying to check them more often. Been away for a week or two because I am releasing a super special product here at the end of the month. Everybody keep a lookout for it because it's going to be fantastic. Until next time, guys. Peace out.